In this video, let us learn about Angular Resolve root guard. What is Resolve root guard? What is the requirement to use it? And how will we implement in our application? Suppose I have a data here and we have 3 rows. And for every row, I have a detail link to display the detail up for that row. Suppose these are working, and if the case is that for one row there is no data, then to display nothing. So what we observe that for the both case we are navigating to other path. For the first row we are navigating to country list detail 1. For the second we are navigating to country list detail 2. But if the third row has no data, then no need to navigate to that path. This is the scenario where the resolve root guard comes. Using the resolve root guard, we can stay on the same path if there is no data. Okay. So let us learn about resolve root guard. First, let us see what is there in the Angular doc. Come to the root interface. It has a property resolve. To implement resolve root guard, we have to use resolve property of root interface, and we have to assign them resolve data. What is resolve data? We have to assign an object that has a key value. Use a key and then value will be ResolveFn type. What is ResolveFn? ResolveFn is a function that has 2 arguments, root and state, and that returns maybe async. That could be of any object or redirect command type. Let us see about the maybe async. This may return that object or its observable or promise. Instead of object, it can be redirect command too. Redirect command is, it can be written by a router guard to instruct the router to redirect rather than continue processing the path of in-flight navigation. In this way, we are ready to implement our resolve root guards. I have already implemented my root guards. First, look at here. I have a person list path, and for this path we have the children. Look here. This is the person list path and these are the data, and when we click on the detail we go to person detail component. All these 3 rows are displayed by person list component, and when we click on the detail we go to the person detail component. This data is being shown by person detail component and this data is being shown by person list component. This is person list component and this is person detail component. In this way, when we visit the person list path, we will see the person list component data, and when we click on the detail, this will be executed. Whether we will visit this path or not now depends on the resolve. Resolve will decide whether there is data in this path or not. If there is no data in this path, then it will keep us on the same path, person list. So let us see what is there here. In the resolve root guard, we have to assign an object, keep your key, a key name, and then value will be ResolveFn type. Here I have created my function of ResolveFn type. This is person resolver. ResolveFn type, it has two arguments, root and state. I have created an injectable service, person detail resolver, inject it, and then I am calling its resolve person method. Let's see inside it, resolve person. This is resolve person. Here I am doing nothing. I am first taking the ID. Which ID? This one. I will check for this whether there is data or not for this ID. Person ID. So I get the ID, and then I have a service, person service, and from that I am getting data for that ID. If there is data, then return that data and the path will be navigated. But if there is no data, it is null, then we will be stay on the same path. This is the logic. First, get the ID for which you want the data. Check before navigating whether there is data or not. If there is data, navigate to that path, and if there is no data, stay on the same path. This is the logic. So in this way, we have created our ResolveFn function, and then configure here using the resolve property of the root interface. Use your key and then assign the value which is of ResolveFn type. This will work in this way. There is data in the first row. This is working. We are navigating to the path. We are navigating to the path, and again look, for the third row there is no data. So we are not navigating. Okay. I have also implemented for the country tab. For this one there is data. For this one there is data, and we are navigating to the path. And for the third row there is no data. So we are using here ResolveFn function to keep on the same path. Let's see implementation for the country. One thing I would like to say here, if we don't want to create a resolve function here like this, we can use mapToResolve. Map in this case just pass the injectable service, and then you need not to create this function like this. Directly pass the injectable service. But one difference is that if we are using mapToResolve, then country detail resolver service must have method name as resolve. This is the difference. This method must be named as resolve, and the logic is same. Get the ID, and then for that ID get the data, and if there is data, return that, and if there is no data, navigate to the same path. The difference in my two services, here I am using observable, and here I am using promise. In this way, we can use the map to resolve to shorten the code. Let's see. This is running. We are navigating to the path. For the second row, if I click, navigating to the path, but when we click on the third, there is no data, and hence we are staying at the same path. And this was about the resolve root guard. Okay, thanks.